Like
You post your
He really is
tweets
a
on
good one,
X, and
too.
if you want to upload like video format and stuff, you use X video.
That's I didn't know that.
I see what you did there.
Okay, we're back one more time, all over the place with Corey and Sean, and all we can really think of for this episode is we keep seeing these goddamn conspiracy theories all over the fucking internet, and God knows what. And actually, our research department, he does a lot of research himself, but it's more along the lines of debunking and calling them special needs people. He takes that angle at most of them, and
That's only because they're special needs people.
Yes.
that's it. It's like again, they don't make it hard.
No.
So go ahead, tell us a good one right now. Start off, like, name your favorite conspiracy, and let's all talk about how stupid it is, and then we'll go on to the next one.
Well, to preface everything, conspiracy theorists, you're all assholes. But anyway, one of the top is the 9/11 truthers. Oh, I love
these
those
assholes.
The jet fuel can't melt steel beams, which is technically correct, but it can weaken them, which is exactly what happened when the buildings fell, because two planes fell into it.
And if you put
Or
that
flew into
steel
it.
in
Flew
an,
into
in an
Planes
if you
flew
put that
into
steel
it.
in an oven and let that jet fuel cook it for a while, it's probably gonna soften a little bit.
Oh, it
I
has.
don't know. You guys seem really. I mean,
Well,
are you experts on metallurgy now? Am I led to
Something
believe
always
that?
got me about the 9/11 people is they're like, oh no, it's fake and everything was faked. But people still flew planes into buildings, and
Well-
buildings still got fucked up.
Yeah.
well,
it's like the whole fucking fake notion.
Whether
is
it was
like,
Al Qaeda
we
or the
watched it.
government, you
There's
know.
the Saudis. Everybody knows that.
No, see, here's the deal: is if you want to make an argument saying that the government had information that terrorists wanted to attack us, you've got an argument.
Yeah.
right there. I give you that.
Yeah,
I
that's believable.
I don't like.
That's 100% keep it simple.
Yeah, if you want to
And-
say that they let it happen, 100%.
And
But-
it's also likely, more than even believable. It's like, absolutely, I'll bet you now there's
But-
fuckers plotting terrorist attacks on us. That's totally believable.
But realistically,
Nobody likes us.
we were sitting pretty and fat
Careful
and
what you use
happy,
of us.
and these assholes, they took
Here we
advantage.
are riding the coattails of white America.
Exactly. And these assholes caught us with our pants down, and they hit us. And it is what it is. But their arguments are fucking stupid. And they're saying, "Oh, it was bombs." No, it wasn't bombs. It
There
was,
was a missile on a passenger jet.
There's one particular school of thought that believes that all the passengers from all of these planes, the planes were landed at a military installation, and then they took it back up in the air, and they were controlled by remote control, and then flown into the buildings empty, and there was nobody in there.
Remote control instead of angry Muslims.
So the people that were on the planes, did they not?
They
have families?
Nope, they didn't. They just they just said goodbye to their families, and so so they just let their families believe that they were dead and mutilated, burned.
So they put
vaporized,
like an
whatever.
ad on Craigslist to be like, who wants to relocate?
Who wants to just disappear?
This is our government. They would just go ahead and kill the people instead of going through all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
you know what? They could.
But they would do it inefficiently instead of letting them stay on the planes. They would get them off, shoot them, hide their bodies.
How funny would it
and
be
then
though if they
fly
just
the planes in and let everybody think they're dead?
all they would have had to do was hire a group of homeless guys to pose as the plane passengers.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, we'll give you a bottle here, take it back there, and then when they go crying around, it's like, I survived 9/11. Everybody's gonna be like, oh, that drunken fucking hobo.
See, because the answer to 9/11 truthers is basically the U.S. government couldn't cover up a break-in in a shitty little hotel.
Yeah.
And you're telling me that they did this conspiracy that would have had to, by necessity,
They've had thousands of people in on it to
yes.
plant all the explosives and,
And
everything, and not a one of them talking.
Not
That's
one
it.
of them.
With that many fucking people, oh, you're sworn to silence, and God knows that'll take you really fucking far.
we had one guy
Like,
who,
hold on, I got this guy named Walt. He wants to pay you to break that silence. Walt, you say, is that Disney? Yes. It's like he writes big checks.
But you have to be some sort of minority.
Yeah, wait. Do you have a black cousin that was on the plane?
But
Are you binary or not?
Yes. Yes. Which way do you swing in the sexual orientation game?
Because if you pick the wrong one, you're going to swing into a building.
Yeah.
But then they always bring up the picture of the Pentagon, the plane that hit the Pentagon. They say, "Well, look, if you look at this picture, well, there's no wing impact marks." And it's like, well, the picture that they always bring up is the same one, and it was a secondary hole that the fire department punched through the building so they could get hoses and shit into the original one and pull things out. But
Well, the wings, wouldn't they have disintegrated at that
I mean,
altitude?
it probably would have left some type of mark going as fast as it did.
So that's what I'm saying. It would have just fucking just disintegrated.
Yeah,
with-
those things
yeah.
are made, they're just like aluminum. That'd
Yeah.
peel right off.
Yes,
Yeah.
but it would.
They're not designed for impact.
But if you look at the hole where the plane actually hit, you can clearly see there are marks where wings went, and you can see that all of the light poles where it went down and flew through the light poles, you can see where they're sheared off as the plane came in and hit.
Wouldn't that suck if you were going to work at the Pentagon that day and you were on the other side of the building, so you were totally safe, but a light pole landed on your car on the other side?
That would not be the worst thing to happen.
But I'm saying
day.
that would like shit. Now I got to sit here and answer questions.
Exactly.
You're
But
driving up, you're like, man, I can't believe that Goldberg called in today. He never calls in.
Goldberg too.
okay, we know where you're going with this. I am.
Are there any other conspiracy theories that like tickle your fancy, Casey?
Yes.
There's lots of them.
Oh yeah, there's tons of like the moon landing. Oh my god, I love those
What?
guys.
How we faked it?
Yeah, they claim
I
we
just
faked
watched
it.
a thing about it the other day. They were
You
like,
put a-
you see the video of the people in the moon landing. They wouldn't be stirring up dust because there's no dust in a vacuum. I'm like, well, yeah, there is. And they're like, see that footprint in the vacuum, the footprint on the moon dust or whatever wouldn't work. And the guy built like a terrarium thing, built it into a vacuum, put some silicone dust that is closely the texture of moon rock, dropped a shoe in it. It's like, did you see the dust fly up? You see the footprint? You're stupid.
Yeah, I mean,
No, it works like when the Spaceballs was sucking the air out of
the man with Mega Maid.
to Druidia.
But
It's like, are you fucking serious?
but no, like the one guy who says, well, somebody. I love there's one guy in particular. I forget what his name. He only has one name, but he was on.
Director X.
Is it X?
No, he was on Penn and Teller's bullshit. And he was like, if you look, you see the flag, it's waving, it's fluttering all over the place. And so what happened is somebody opened the door on this soundstage and the wind got in and started moving the flag. But every time you see the flag move, it's because the astronaut is jimmying it around. And you see it fluttering because it's inertia.
You can see the pole going that way out of holding the flag
Yeah.
out so you can actually see
Yeah.
it because there's not wind.
Yeah, and so, but he claims that somebody, and this is his genuine, what he claims to believe is, he says that somebody, now they spent millions upon millions of dollars to fake this moon landing with, effects and wires and all
Well,
this
we
shit.
had to beat the Russians.
Yeah, but then some asshole opens up the soundstage and lets the wind in.
Like, yeah.
And they couldn't do a second take.
and
They couldn't do a second take, and they couldn't afford a fucking lock on the door.
and then the other thing is he talks about how, well,
Spend all our money on moon dust.
exactly. Yeah, we had to have that flown in straight from the moon. Yeah,
Wait, how'd you get it?
But no, then he also says, he's like, well, when you see the astronauts taking these pictures, you can't see any of the stars. And it's like, they weren't there to take pictures of the stars. They were there to take pictures of
The moon.
the moon.
Like, not one selfie among them.
I did not see Neil Armstrong once turn his camera around
And
give
do
the
this.
and give the peace symbol and to show he was there.
Yeah, Buzz Aldrin didn't shoot us not a single TikTok on the moon. So
It must have been fake.
Like, did they ever think to tweet while they were up there?
And but then
X, they don't tweet.
Oh, well,
But
it just
then-
became X. It was tweet before that.
Here's not a conspiracy, but this is a big pet peeve of mine. Now in news articles and stuff, when instead of saying, somebody said on Twitter, they'll say somebody said on X, parentheses, the platform formerly known as Twitter. Are they going to print this fucking thing forever? Can they not just call it the new
Just
name?
call it X.
Yeah.
what is it called?
X.
Is it not
X.
Twitter anymore?
No,
No.
it's X.
It's
X.
X. Yeah. You post your.
Elon had the most recognizable brand in the world and decided to change it.
Yeah.
That's because
now you-
I love Elon because he's a troll. Like,
You
I-
post your
He really is
tweets
a
on
good one,
X, and
too.
if you want to upload like video format and stuff, you use X video.
That's I didn't know that.
I see what you did there.
Wait a minute.
but
That sounds fishy.
then
Seems like that's
I
where
like
you.
X video all the time.
Is that where you go to get arranged dates with 14-year-olds?
They don't necessarily do much censoring on X video.
Oh, okay. I
That's
like
freedom
that.
of speech because that's what Elon's about.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah. Freedom of speech. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Good.
but
So the moon, go back.
oh yeah,
Yeah, to the moon.
well,
Alice.
there was also the famous Sea Rock. I don't know if y'all ever heard of that. The Sea Rock. This guy shows
Heard
a,
of E-Rock.
well, it's a picture of a, I guess, a pile of moon rocks, and one of them looks like there's a
A
sea.
nanny cam.
Looks like Gary Coleman.
No, it looks like a sea. It looks like there's a sea on it, and he claims even though there's been multiple set designers, like actual from who design movie sets, that say that's not the way we do things. He says that it's a sea rock, and they forgot to flip it over because that tells the set designers where to put stuff. And so he claims it's a sea, but then a NASA representative came out and said that's an eyelash that got caught between the negative. Like, he's like, it's an eyelash, but the guy's like, no, it's a sea rock. You can clearly tell because the idiot set designer forgot to flip the rock over, so you couldn't see the sea. And they had multiple set designers. Like, you ever heard anything like that? They're
You
like,
know what?
"Fuck no."
I'm getting the feeling.
Why didn't they just take pictures and stuff in
Renee.
4K and
Yeah. Why did? I
60s?
mean, seriously, fuck them.
Yeah,
Lazy, cheap bastards.
fucking digital
But,
video. What's wrong with you?
I'm getting the like a feeling that these fuckers and the sovereign citizens, these people can get together and fucking hang out because
Yeah,
they
they
seem
do,
like they're
yeah.
the only ones that could stand each other.
yeah,
their conventions are probably on the same weekends.
Yeah,
Probably.
It's like the
share the
sovereign
same
citizens. I know
hotels.
laws better than you. Conspiracy theories. I know everything better.
I know
than
the
you.
moon better than you.
yeah,
Like,
but
I've seen it.
But no matter what evidence you show them, anything that you show them, it doesn't
Oh, no,
matter.
no.
And
Yeah.
and every one of them will say, "You cannot tell me that the government did this and this and this and didn't," And every one of them, they are so dead set. There's no change in their mind. That's why there's no point. I don't even argue with them anymore because there's no point. I mean, it's bullshit. Everybody
Kind of
knows
like arguing with vegans.
yeah, or flat earthers.
Flat Earth.
yeah.
Oh, a whole
yeah.
new fucking bunch of whack jobs.
These guys are
I
funny.
love there's a guy named Rob Nodal on YouTube. He's one of the biggest flat Earth YouTubers, and he did his experiment. He took a globe, and he took a bottle of water, and he started spinning the globe, and then he poured the water on it, and then as it, of course, slung off of it, he's like, "See, a round Earth won't hold water."
Did he have it to scale flashlight of the sun shining on the Earth too? Because I mean,
I have no idea.
if he didn't have a sun on it, I'm not buying it.
Did he have like some antimatter or something as the core of that Earth
No.
to give it some sort of
No,
gravity?
it's literally he just took a globe and just spun it, and then just
Well,
poured
because
water on it.
globes have gravity, right?
Of course they do.
If you spin them hard enough.
gravity. You believe in gravity?
That's why.
That's
That's
what-
why doctors are afraid of apples because they're really just afraid of gravity.
Yes.
Yes.
No, I like the one where the other experiment to prove that the Earth was flat. They did it with this big laser thing, and they set up like a receiver, like over past the horizon, like in the ocean or whatever. And they're like, this will show if the laser can't get to the meter, if it doesn't read it, then then the Earth can be round. But if it's flat, it's going to show up right here. And then they did it, and the experiment went on forever and forever. And they're like, well, guys, turns out that the laser didn't stay focused enough to read that far away.
It's like we forgot to.
Are
like,
you sure about
we didn't
that?
put brand new batteries in the laser, and it didn't make it all the way across the ocean. We only had enough juice to get it halfway
we forgot
across.
that even though it was a laser, it's not going to stay as a laser. It's going to expand a little
Well, it
bit.
wouldn't focus because it was some kind of a curve happen. Shit.
Like there was some natural curvature. You say
No, absolutely not.
no?
That didn't
Edit that out. Edit that out.
Silly fuckers!
But then, oh no, there's also
You're just trying to make me look stupid.
They did a whole documentary on this guy who built a rocket, and like he ended up doing it, but the first time he tried to do it, it was this fucking jerry-rigged rocket that. Like NASA, everybody's like, "You're gonna die in that," and he's like, "No, I'm gonna prove it the Earth's flat." And so the fire department
How do you
shut him down.
fucking prove the Earth is flat by flying off of it?
Because he claimed that he was going to fly up it into the atmosphere, and then he was going to look down and see that it was flat.
I mean, if nothing else, he
I
is a
never
true
thought of
scientist.
first-hand account.
He is. I will give him.
That's
He
the
is,
only thing they will believe is
Like
their
I'm
own
gonna
first.
snap a selfie. So look there, it's flat.
but he was persistent. I'll give him that.
Well,
but-
all the ones they've done with that before, with the selfie and everything, they used a fisheye lens to make it look flat. And
yeah,
make it look
and
curved.
they claim, flat earthers, that Antarctica is really what completely encircles the flat Earth, and that every government in the world, because we know that Israel and Saudi Arabia and all these places, they get along super well.
Yeah.
So they all, every country in the world sends soldiers to man the wall around the flat Earth.
And once again, all these soldiers would have to keep their mouths shut.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And they claim that even though we have seen pictures and scientists have said, yes, I've been to Antarctica, blah, blah, blah. But they don't believe that. It's nonsense. They're government plants. We are government plants now.
Yeah,
Just
my-
understand. We
My
are.
favorite,
Yeah.
my favorite thing about flat earthers is they'll come out and say, like the moon and Mars and Jupiter and all those are spherical, but the Earth isn't.
So how did we get different?
Well, we have people.
Oh!
We have a
That's
government that
why
won't tell us
we
the
made-
truth.
We are 2 steps away from climate activists being like, the reason that the Earth is flat is because of climate change.
carbon
We have
emissions.
flattened out. Our planet used to be a sphere, but we have flattened it out by draining the Earth of its resources.
Yes, it just deflated like a fucking birthday balloon. Just,
Okay, I've never had this cleared up by one of these fuckers. The flat Earth.
sure.
Are we still round or is it square? Or
no,
is
it's
it-
round.
It's
It's round?
It's like a pizza.
Yeah, it's like a record play. The sun is like a lamp that shines down.
It's a spotlight.
And
Yeah.
Oh, so we're on a
as
record.
the record goes, it gets closer to.
What
the
about the
sun
people
and
underneath
around.
us?
There's no people underneath us.
No, it's
Oh,
a
it's
The
just
mole
empty
people
spots?
are a
It's just
myth.
emptiness. It's into the nether.
So what if one of them soldiers gets drunk and falls off the edge of Earth? They just gonna fall into nothingness?
Well, then they're fucked.
Yeah.
Oh fuck!
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
That don't sound like a good job to me.
No, it doesn't. I would not. I would
wouldn't
not
want
want
it.
that. I would not want the job of
Nope.
watching the flat Earth.
They say go to the edge of Earth. I'd
I-
say fuck you.
I don't want to be the flat Earth guard wall guy.
No.
And that's one of the reasons I don't believe it is because fucking Logan Paul or one of these assholes.
Hey, Bob, come look at this.
But
But none of those guys has
spit off of it.
None of them have
You
put
can
on a
say you spit off
GoPro
the Earth.
and wanted and took video of them parachuting off the flat Earth. So I don't believe it. If it's not on TikTok, I don't believe it.
That's right.
Speaking of TikTok and conspiracy theories, you all aware of
This
the
is gonna be
girl
good.
that said Rome did not exist?
Rome,
Rome. The Roman Empire.
the
It's
Roman
fake.
Empire.
Never happened.
Okay, so
Well, if it ever happened, there would be some sort of artifact.
Like,
yeah, there'd be like ruins or something
Yeah.
all over the fucking place.
like architecture laid out, like I don't know, aqueducts or maybe a coliseum or some other shit.
Yeah, these like
Walls on the borders of their empire.
If Rome didn't exist, why would we?
Why do we have roads?
Why are we still able to call it a Roman helmet?
Roman war helmet.
Because
You're right.
that's propaganda.
Yeah. That was
propaganda by the
guess what?
Greeks.
That's a tool of the Jewish led groups.
Well, you can tell because the Roman
Easy,
war
pump
helmet's
brakes.
usually uncircumcised.
Yeah, that's the Jewish
Or it is
corporations
circumcised.
pushing for circumcision. Jew Corps. Roman. That's why they're Roman war helmets. Jesus Christ.
yeah.
Why would
they
somebody
didn't
waste
kill
time
him.
on that?
Because they want attention.
Why? But I mean,
No, I feel like
theorizing-
it's one of those things where it's like it's people who think that they're smart,
Yeah.
and they're like, no one's noticed this before. Because the woman had like a couple videos where she went on and was like, here's why, and she gave dumb stuff where it's like, I forget what exactly she said, but things along the line of like, all the things that we have talking about Rome are not Roman. They're Greeks talking about them and stuff.
So she believes in the Greeks, but not Rome.
Yeah, that it's like it was
even though
fabricated, and
the
it's
Greeks
like
came or before
Well,
the Romans.
why would any place fabricate that it's like, yes, something
that
came
they were
and
conquered?
Yeah.
She probably got wind of my conspiracy theory that chickens don't exist.
Oh, that's
Because if you say, "Hey, look at that chicken," some asshole's going to go, "That's not a chicken, that's a rooster." And you go, "Well, a male chicken is called a rooster. A female chicken is not called a chicken either. It's called
got
a
a hen.
So an actual chicken doesn't exist." Or you're just trying to be a dick when I say a chicken. You know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah. Does that mean human
Which-
beings don't
which-
exist either? Because woman,
I got the biggest pair of human beings you ever seen.
Wyman.
human beings.
But
It's well, see this like why do people waste their fucking time? It's like Rome, yes, it's there. It was always that we have a long documented history of that. Just like this fucker who said Ohio doesn't exist.
yeah.
And he said,
Unfortunately, Ohio exists.
yeah, that's just wishful thinking on his part, if you ask me.
Can we find a way to make him not a conspiracy theorist?
But the whole thing is like, well, I can't fly there. Well, then fucking drive.
Yeah.
Can't drive? Walk. It's there.
Well, you can't drive because Ohio doesn't exist. You can't drive because the roads are in a horrible condition.
You
And
can't,
their
you can't
drivers are
drive
terrible.
because there's some asshole in the left lane with his blinker on.
Road construction.
Yeah.
Going around the world to the left. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, some of these people, they have way too much fucking time on their hands. And, flat earthers to me are one of the worst just because not only are they wrong, they stick to their guns as.
They are very insistent motherfuckers.
Yes.
Yeah.
And again, they're just like regular conspiracy
I watched
theorist
a-
assholes.
I watched a video the other day on YouTube about, these guys are going to describe, why they're so adamant and believe in the flat earth. And they got there, okay, well, we've been asked why we believe in the flat earth, and there's 3 reasons. The first reason is, we're just fed up and exhausted with society, and we're not going to play with society anymore. It's like, what the fuck's
And
that
how
got
does say the
what's that
fucking
got
earth
to
is
do with the
flat help
shape
that?
of the planet?
Actually, that's super telling because it's basically like, bro, life's fucking retarded. I need some escapism, and if
Yeah.
I gotta
Yeah.
make that my
Yeah.
life is escapism, then I'm just gotta do it.
But you know what? Go to a fucking Renaissance fair. Dress up like a fucking a knight or something.
Or
Like,
Yeah,
just dress
but then
like a
they were-
Klingon like all the other dorks.
sure,
Or be one of these guys that go out and LARP army like Meal Team 6.
Oh, fuck. I got my fucking sword made out of a pool noodle. I'm going to fucking slay you, buddy.
God.
Oh,
4 damage. 4 damage. I have the sword of wounding. I have the spell of.
We found a dead guy.
I'm going to cast the spell of virginity on you.
You didn't
You'll
need
never
to.
be able to procreate.
I
Oh,
already
shit.
had that
I got
curse.
a little on me.
I already had that curse from birth. Doctor cursed me with that.
I was born with asthma, so I have very little appeal to the opposite sex.
That sounded like a guy with that accent. That
Gilbert
was in
Gottfried.
our other video.
Yeah.
It's cold down here. I think I need a jacket.
That's a dirty trick, Shane.
That's a dirty trick. Indeed.
No, I feel like I was being baited into that conversation.
Told you she wasn't going to be happy about it. I
Shane
told you
is-
she was
Hey,
going to be
can
upset.
you just speak more clearly? I can't understand you.
She's stop crying.
I can't talk to you when you're hysterical.
You know I can't stand it when you're like this. Like, wait a minute, like this. This happened before?
This little deja vu action happening.
We
No
cannot stop talking about
No, we
that
can't.
2 episodes ago.
3.
3 episodes ago.
No conspiracy on this one.
It's that
You
good.
all
Check
might,
out the back catalog.
yeah, you all might get a break in like a month.
Like,
We
subscribe,
might
comment,
not talk about it,
Yeah.
notifications.
Yeah.
or
no-
maybe more info will be out and we'll be talking about it even more.
Ooh, if more info came out, holy shit.
Ooh, yeah. Sorry,
I
guys.
can't.
I'd
Look,
still
I
like to get
can't.
that guest on.
I can't do it. Like, okay, I can't do it.
That's okay. You can sit
Well,
that one out.
Well, we can tie that into the conspiracies because it's a conspiracy. These kids are
don't.
playing the stuff on these grown adults.
I know they're playing pranks and setting them up.
Baiting them.
Yeah, baiting them.
Because answer me this: what's a
Masturbating.
14-year-old doing on a dating site?
She said she was 18. And well, she didn't say it, but her profile said it.
She insinuated that she was
God,
18.
we're back on this again.
She vacillated between the two.
Bro,
Was it-
he was ready to be doing some vacillating, you know what I mean?
This was all a conspiracy theory.
What have we gotten all the good conspiracies?
Well, there's a JFK
There are
assassination.
so many.
He's still dead, isn't he?
Thousands of those.
Yep.
He is.
And guess what? JFK assassination people, you're assholes too.
Oh, here's a conspiracy thing. I love
Until
this.
they're
This is
proven
this is
right.
my guilty pleasure. Fucking ancient aliens.
Oh, yeah.
I love
yeah,
hearing
yeah,
their
yeah.
theories because once in a while you'll be like, well, that guy's talking. How did they do that? But then they will jump. They're not even jumping. They're fucking pole vaulting to
Oh,
fucking conclusions.
Oh yeah.
Like the pyramids?
You're like, well, this didn't
Not even the
happen this way,
pyramids.
so it had to have been this.
Well, did you see the one where they found these hieroglyphics, and one in particular, it did look like a Black Hawk helicopter. And he was like, how did these people, they didn't know what a Black Hawk helicopter was. How did they have Black Hawk helicopter hieroglyphics? And then
well,
so they
that just
they,
proves time travel, not space aliens.
Oh no, they had an actual Egyptologist come on and said, no, you see, you have to understand when they were chiseling these things in, a lot of times they were chiseling over the top of other hieroglyphics. So in all likelihood, and they said there were two characters that combined to make it look like that. And so that's all it was.
So it was a typo.
Yeah, it was a typo. And they were trying to white out over it. That's essentially, it was.
And when you're
exactly what it was.
typing is literally removing mass from an object,
Yes.
it's hard to white it out.
Yes, and so.
Like, give me some gravel to stuff in here.
But this guy, he's like, no, it's a Black Hawk helicopter. They were the Egypt people were flying around in Black Hawk helicopters.
You know, I like that when they say that the aliens helped build the pyramids, but then you get these programs on the History Channel and it's talking about the actual construction of the pyramids.
Yeah.
It's like, the outer shell of it is put perfectly symmetrical, beautiful, like right there. Under that, though, they really half-assed it.
Yeah.
And I'm
Well,
like,
I've seen some too. Like, up the higher you get to where you can't really, it's not visible and people aren't going to see it. Plus, they covered it with the
marble,
limestone.
yeah.
They may have cut a few corners up there.
Yeah.
No,
That's what they did. They half-assed it. And it made it look, hey, it's great. It's lasted this long.
and the fucking pyramids, all that goes to show you is all the shit you can get done with slave labor. Like,
Those were contractors, asshole. It was an
Yeah,
honor.
those were not the slaves.
if they were, well, let me guess. If they were slaves, they deserved it, right?
Oh no.
Oh,
My
Nelly.
favorite thing about Ancient Aliens is the fact that half
You
the
just
time,
made
like
the
you're,
juice being
like you're, like you were saying, is that they take stuff that you're like, oh, I don't know what that is, and half the time you end up looking into it and you're like, oh, this is
Yeah.
super cool. I would have never heard about this if it wasn't for people but trying to be like, it was aliens.
Well, that's
Yeah.
it. It didn't make me
It
think
was
any
aliens.
less.
No, it wasn't. What was it? Oh, okay.
Well, like say the pyramids and them half-assing the innards of it. That didn't make me really think, less of them because they, had alien help. It made me think of them less. It's like they're just as fucking lazy as we are now.
Exactly.
They knew that all that mattered was the stuff you could see on the
It's like
outside.
all they wanted to fucking do was make sure it had something nice to look at.
My
Fuck
favorite.
the fact that it's decaying internally.
My favorite one, I can't remember the specifics on it, but I remember that they were trying to say that the Greeks or the Romans were using something with their docks that was really technical. And they're like, the only way they could have known was aliens. And all I could think of was like, wow, people back then were really smart, actually.
Yeah, they were just as smart as us now. They just didn't have
we
the
had the
experience.
same brain development.
That's it. It was just it was applied in a different
Maybe
way
more
because they didn't have
so.
computers.
They didn't have the life experience and thousands of years of inventions and
TikTok.
but
you know,
they
advancements
can figure it
behind
out.
Yeah.
Well, but the whole thing is these fucking
Somebody
idiots-
in our times figured it out.
Yeah.
Somebody back then probably figured it out as well.
But a lot of these fuckers will be like, well, they're a primitive society because if I handed them a fucking iPhone, they wouldn't immediately know what to do with it.
Give them 5-10 minutes, they'll figure
Neither
it
do
out.
most old people now.
Exactly. And if those old people couldn't, how much more so people
It's like, and this is
hundreds of years ago.
these old people have worked a fucking TV. They wouldn't know how to do that either. Yeah. Because it's just the way they fucking applied their brain power then.
But the thing is, again, hand a person from, say, ancient Greece an iPhone and then leave, come back the next day, guarantee he probably knows something. Like,
Well, but here's the fucking thing. They're like, oh, well, they couldn't figure out fucking how to use an iPhone. Do you know how to carve a statue out of marble, cocksucker?
I was just about to say, go grab,
It's like different fucking ways.
go grab 10 people from Detroit, transport them to Greece, give them everything that they need to farm except for anyone telling them how to do it, and be like, good luck.
look, we
Farm
saw
or die,
we saw
and then come back when they're dead.
we saw exactly
They're
when
from Detroit, so there's no loss.
when Chaz came up, the whole whatever fucking
Yeah.
zone when they took over that part of
Oh,
Seattle.
yeah, Seattle.
And then they tried to make that garden, and it looked like just like they planted like corn and then stomped all over it, and it was
It was
could-
like a bunch
Actually,
of, they
I
just
just-
took like some topsoil from Home Depot and put it over top of some cardboard.
I just thought
Yeah.
of something simpler. Send them back to fucking ancient Greece and tell them, find 10 plants you can eat that won't kill you. And they'll all be fucking dead.
well, they couldn't do that here. Like, it would
Well,
have to go to
that's what I'm
ancient
saying.
Greece.
They knew what to fucking look for. Of course, I'm sure it was a lot of trial and error, but
Sure.
still.
I could do it here. There's a Kroger right up the road.
Yeah.
No, but no, it's different skills. It's the same thing. Like Penn Jillette had a really good comparison on something like that. He said that sometimes after their shows, like doctors and lawyers, like really educated people, will come up to him and go, "Man, you know what? I'm a doctor. I'm a surgeon. Blah blah blah, and I'm a smart guy, but I don't know how you did that trick." And Penn always says, he's like, "Well, I'm not terribly smart," and he's like, "But I figured it out." He's like, "While you were, spending all those years learning how to cut just such a way and stitch up and do all this stuff, I was learning how to trick you." He's like,
That's it. It's like
and the doctor was like, do we cut here?